Hello, everyone. Welcome to our office hours for today. Thank you for being flexible with our setup. We're of course having fun talking to all of our lovely clients, and we're out here on the road at a trade show. And so today we are going to talk about authentic versus aspirational content. And of course, we love to give you all the free resources. So we do have a informational post for you up on our website. So if we get into what is authentic versus aspirational content, authentic content is something that is think of it as like behind the scenes. It's a genuine experience. We are connecting on a personal level. We are showing them who we are, what actually happens in the shop or your business, or you're teaching things. But if you use this too much, you got to balance it, right? Because if you use it too much, it may lack the wow factor. And we always want people to come in and see our things and be like, oh, wow. But if we do too much authentic content and we see all of the nitty gritty that goes on behind the scenes, we sort of lose that little bit of mystique, right? So when you're doing authentic content, that doesn't mean that it's low quality. You can have authentic content and show up and be yourself, but we still want to show up with good lighting. We still want to show up with good sound, because both of those things, if we, don't take the time to make sure that we're presenting ourselves in a way that is clear to our audience, then they're going to tune out. They're going to swipe away, and you're not going to reach your audience. So authentic content does not mean low quality. It just means a little bit more personal. When we look at authenticity, it really is something that helps you grow a relationship and grow with each other, because you're being honest, right? You are keep each other loyal because you're like, okay, I'm going to come back for this because I understand that they had this small mishap, and they're working through it. And I love to see the underdog. I love to see when people figure things out. And you know what? I've had that problem happen to me too. What are they going to do to solve the problem? When we look at authenticity, it's we trust people. So if you are authentic, and authentic is something that marketers love to throw around. We love that word. Be authentic. It means being treating your customer like a person, and you showing up in your business as a person as well. It makes them trust you. It makes them believe you. If you're not giving them, if someone has a problem and you just give them the party line of, well, this is why this happened, you're not treating them with trust. You're not being loyal to them as a person. So it gives you a good basis for communication. The other part is that if they see you as an authentic person behind your brand or within your brand, it's going to make sure that you can continue to grow. It also makes it easier for you to keep showing up on all of the various social media platforms, on all of the web devices, because you don't have to try as hard to be someone else. It's like it's very hard to maintain an inauthentic personality for a long period of time. It's like we can all show up and smile and be whoever, but if we're not ourselves, it takes a lot more effort. And the other thing too is that if you're having a problem and your customers trust you, they will tell you about it, and you can course correct, get different product in your stores, handle something that is looming on the horizon before it comes a full out fire for your business. So you enables you and your business to be more flexible and to manage all of your ins and outs of your business and your customers more effectively. And then I was having this talk today with someone. If people know that there's a person working behind the scenes to make sure that something happens, they will support you because they know you're working on it. It's like we all make mistakes. We all have things that go sideways. So if you're honest to people about it, then they will be flexible and understanding and help you during those times where things just go in an unplanned fashion. Now, an idea for authentic style content. You can look at unboxings. Everyone loves an unboxing. You can look at unboxings. You can look at behind the scenes things, user generated content, anything where you're talking to people who are not necessarily the face of the brand, but people who are engaging with your brand. That would be a user generated content. Those are a little bit less polished generally, and they're great testimonials. Action shots for classes or conferences. Pretend you are, your own little journalist. You're going to get the action shot of when you just had the cool national speaker, and you're going to show all of your people having fun. That's not going to be a posed photo. And then, vlog is a great, there's different ways to do vlogs, and there's a polished version and a more authentic version. A vlog is a great way to show authentic content, again, just because it goes back to that behind the scenes stuff, the honesty, the day-to-day life, the things that people don't normally get to see. Now, aspirational content. I love this photo of the 790 Pro from Bernina. They do an excellent job of doing aspirational content. It is beautiful. The content and aspirational content aims to inspire and show you, you could have this if you have this product, if you take this class. It's an idealized scenario. But the problem with aspirational content, if you use it too much, people tune out, because they get to the point where it's like, well, that's really great, but that's not where I am, so that doesn't apply to me. So you sort of have to be judicious, just like as in authentic content is, you may get people not stopping the scroll, not stopping their tracks to see what you're talking about. You may get audience detachment if you use too much aspirational content, because people are like, well, that's not relatable. I love that, but that's not me. So you have to, balance the two. When we're looking at aspirational content, people love to use it because it sells well. If we're talking about what your product, what your service does, we always want to talk about your customers' hopes, their fears, their desires. We want to solve your customer problems. So if we're using aspirational content, we're sort of picturing the ideal scenario with your content front and center, your product front and center, and your product is going to talk to those desires, that problem solving. And this is a key thing. If you're talking, if you can talk to a point that's a transformation or a solution, you're going to be effective. So again, if you're placing your product right in the center of that transformation of the before and after, now I never have this problem again. I can do all of these things now because of this. If you can put your product front and center, you're going to have people aspire to be associated with that. It's inspiration. It's aspirational content is inspirational, is gives them a goal to work towards. And different people have different relationships with that, sewing for fun, making for fun, knitting for fun, but you can use the power of imagine, and it sort of opens up all of the different possibilities for them to keep going, to stay on track, to keep making something beautiful, and then they would get to this place in this very pretty photo. So aspirational content, I love this. Kimber Bell is always a great one for doing such beautiful photos. Stylized shots. So there's nothing wrong with having a little setup and, creating a beautiful flat lay, having a little, white spot, clean spot of the wall and clean floors to lay something out. Another thing that I think people haven't thought about too much is romanticizing your life or process. We always talk about making video and doing some B-roll things, just doing a whole bunch of B-roll shots. And for example, for a B-roll, that would be anything where you're not, directly talking to the camera. You're just setting the camera up and going about your day, doing something, sewing, knitting, whatever. But you can use all of those little snippets and romanticize your life or process and say, look how pretty this is. It's so serene. It's so peaceful. Very clean product photos. That would be a great type of aspirational content. So something that's very clear, great resolution, well executed. All of these are great to give you that very polished presence online. Oh, this is another thing. Approach it as you are your own magazine. You are editorial. If you were looking at a magazine, if you were looking at, any of them out there today, are a beautiful coffee table book, and you wanted to present your process, if you wanted to present your product, how would you lay it out to make it that beautiful shot that's going to captivate your readers on the page? It's a different way to think about it. I had this question yesterday, so I presented this information in a class, and someone asked me, how much of each should I do? That's not quite an easy question to answer. So instead, I'm going to say where to use which, because I think that's going to be a more effective way for you to think of things. So, and there's also no hard and fast rules. It's like your customer base and your people are going to show up in a different way than as some other client, some other customer. So it's a little bit of testing things out, seeing how things go. But when I look at your presence, and when you're looking at things online, aim for your website to be more aspirational. That's the first point of contact. We want it to be beautiful. You are the problem solver. We aspire to have people be like you. When we look at things like the blog, that can be a little bit of a mix, because if your blog can be a mix of your tutorials, things that go wrong, transformations, day in the life, that can be a mix of things. And when we look at Facebook, again, that's a little bit more personal, first point of contact with people. We're showing the people behind the business, but we're also showing the beautiful products, the beautiful experiences that you give to people. So we can show up both ways. When we look at Instagram, Instagram, I would say, leans heavily towards aspirational. It has a sort of clear aesthetic style that the photos are favored in the algorithm. So I would lean that way. However, when you have Instagram stories, which are the part of Instagram that disappears after 24 hours, that can be more authentic. So that can be more of those unboxings, those different things. When you go to YouTube, that can be a mix. If you have a big explainer video and you have a tutorial, then obviously you want that to be very professional, very clear, understandable. And then you can take advantage of shorts and do something that is a little bit more personal, a little bit different. TikTok is all about the fast, the furious, getting information out there. You do not have to be polished on TikTok. People want the authentic connection of you, your face, your business. You don't have to be super, super, super polished on there. Any questions from anyone? Okay, I think we'll stop recording, Rebecca, and then we'll see if anyone has any questions afterwards.